What is up, wrestling fans? JP from KayFabe Chronicles coming to you yet again. Today is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for This Week in Wrestling, the weekly segment where I cover all the wonderful stuff that has happened in the week that I deem important. Lots to go over this week. We have four major key points that I deem pretty crazy and out there, so we're going to start them off, count them all down one by one, so let's get it going. So for starters, as most of you guys have probably heard by now, WWE has announced its first inductee to the 2017 Hall of Fame, and it is, of course, Olympic hero Kurt Angle. That's right, Kurt Angle. You know what? Usually, a lot of times when they announce like the first person, I'm kind of like, whatever. There's so many other good people who could possibly be. But you know what? I fully agree with this one actually. Kurt Angle. Growing up, I was kind of more. I was in like my middle teens, going into my early 20s when Kurt Angle wrestled, and he was just really fun to watch. I really liked his character when he first came out. The cocky, eccentric. I'm the greatest Olympic champion, so I should be able to, become a regular wrestler, no problem. WWE's done that a lot in the past with a lot of Olympians who have become wrestlers. Like Ken Patera, Mark Henry, guys like that. But like something about something about Kurt Angle just made him a lot more different compared to the other guys, because he was an Olympic wrestler. He wasn't a weightlifter or something like. He was an actual wrestler who actually ended up winning a gold medal. When he came in, just something about him just made me kind of like steer more towards him. Maybe it was his technicality behind the mat. Maybe it's just the way that he brought himself. But I think the main thing I really enjoyed most about Kurt Angle was the way that he carried himself on the microphone. A lot of times when you get an Olympic person or a bodybuilder or someone who's really not grown up being trained to be a wrestler, a lot of times their mic skills are subpar to complete running bullshit at most. Now, something about Kurt Angle just made him stand out a lot more than the other guys, like the whole intensity, integrity, intelligence, his three eyes spiel, but just the way that he always carried himself. He had some of the best backstage promos of all time. One of my favorite ones was like him and The Rock. And The Rock, he offers The Rock a glass of milk, and The Rock's like, I'm going to take this glass of milk, turn it sideways, and you think he's going to shove it up his ass, but no, I'm going to drink it. And then, of course, Kurt Angle making fun of the Stone Cold Steve Austin beer truck, driving up in the milk truck and spraying everyone with that. Just everything that Kurt Angle did on the microphone. After he got his head shaved, he wore the toupee with the wrestling headgear to cover it up. Just everything he did was great. Some of his best matches. Huge fan of his WrestleMania 19 match against Brock Lesnar, where both of them pretty much gave themselves massive concussions and broken necks. And of course, the following year at WrestleMania, Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 20. That was another huge classic for me. So fully well deserved. Really psyched to see Kurt Angle come back. Looking forward to hearing his acceptance speech. So good job, WWE. Good choice for this year's Hall of Fame class so far. Now get a certain little list of some other people on there. Not going to name any names. Owen Hart versus Bulldog, but just do it as the right thing and get them in there as well. But awesome job, WWE. Looking forward to it. Next up on my list, as I had mentioned in a previous video, follow the link down below in the comments section. WWE, of course, announced the United Kingdom Championship Tournament that would be coming, and this past weekend it did come in full force. It was a little bit different than the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament, like the Cruiserweight Classic. This had 16 guys compared to the larger amount. But the thing that made this one different is this was only a 2-day tournament compared to the Cruiserweight Classic, which even though it was only shot in a couple days, they stretched it out over a long period of time. So with this tournament, they showed pretty much the all weekend. So you got all round of 16 dwindled down to ultimately the champion at the end. The tournament was really interesting compared to a lot of the other previous wrestling. If you're not familiar with English style wrestling, it's a lot more kind of Olympic style wrestling from what I gathered when I watched it, and I've seen in the past. It's a lot of technical grappling, a lot of counters, a lot of reversals. It just, I'm being all cheesy, but it's a very gentlemanly style of wrestling, and you can see like when they wrestle, like they all have a very similar style. Like it's all very submission based, very tactical like that. We put them in a headlock, they're going to wiggle their way out, a lot of stuff. The thing I really liked about the tournament is there was a lot of different storylines going on. Like, a lot of guys were able to generate heat, a lot of guys were able to generate face power. A lot of different things going on over the 2 days. I'm not going to go into huge detail. I recommend if you guys want to hear a little bit more about it, I recommend checking out Brian Zane from Wrestling with Wregret's video about it. I'm going to post the link in the description before. He goes over the tournament very well, one of the best reviews that I saw. He pretty much covers everything that I would talk about, so I'm not going to bother repeating it. But yeah, in the end, Tyler Bate, 19-year-old, no one really expected him to win the entire thing. I figured he would make it maybe second round at best. But yeah, he managed to beat the Bruiserweight in the finals, the overall pick that everyone thought was going to win. But yeah, he ended up taking the title at 19 years of age. He looks damn good. Like I said, he has like a really good muscular build for him. I'm really interested to see what's going to go on because, I like the storyline that was involved with him during the tournament, where he injured his shoulder and you didn't know if he was going to compete in the finals or not, and then he came in and won the title. It was a real good, feel-good story. But yeah, for starters, yeah, he looks great. His mustache, beyond epic. I think him and Jack Gallagher should get together and just have like a super mustache duel. One thing I did notice during this tournament, besides the fact that everyone in it was freaking awesome, what is with Brits and like not wanting to wear knee pads? Like, I'm not noticing just like this in general, just like pretty much every English wrestler I can almost think of, besides the British Bulldogs. Just something about them just not wanting to wear knee pads. Maybe it's the style. I don't know. It looks a little weird to me, but whatever. So yeah, overall great match. I'm looking forward to a great match, great whole tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing what they go on with this. It should be cool. Hopefully it gets pushed a little bit better than the Cruiserweight division right now, even though I still have faith in you, WWE. I know it's a new year and you guys can get that going. So hopefully the entire UK style and the entire UK show, I hope that they get off on a great foot and they get that going where it should be. So once again, awesome job on this. Good job, WWE. Coming up next, after many weeks of speculation, WWE finally revealed the identity of La Luchadora this past week on SmackDown. Those of you not familiar, a couple weeks ago, Becky Lynch, under the mask of La Luchadora, fought Alexa Bliss, ultimately won the match. So took off her mask, because it wasn't obvious who it was in her pre-show interview with that fabulous, sexy Irish accent. But yeah, so over the past few weeks, Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss have continued their feud, but La Luchadora keeps interfering in the matches. But if Becky's in the ring, who could it possibly be? Ooh. So over the past couple weeks, everyone's been wondering who it is, who could possibly be. A lot of people thought, maybe it was like Tamina Snuka or Naomi. A lot of people, another name that came in there was Eva Marie, because as Eva Marie's been away from action for quite some time, which I think would have been actually a cool storyline to introduce her back in. So this past week, she got unmasked and was revealed to be Mickie James. Wow. Like, a lot of people didn't see that coming, and neither did I, which is really bizarre considering that we all knew that Mickie was drafted to SmackDown. But yet nobody even threw Mickie into the equation, so that was kind of interesting there. Who knows where this is going to go? Mickey's probably going to get thrown into the title picture right off the bat, because she is most, of course, well-deserving. She is the veteran out of everybody. But yeah, would have been the storyline I would have gone with. Probably not. So yeah, I'm going to wonder what WWE is going to do with this. Who knows? But yeah, I just figured something quick to throw out there with you guys. Doesn't really advance life at all, but yeah, we now know who she is. Go Team SmackDown! Okay, and last but certainly not least, as you guys probably heard, earlier this week, Hall of Famer, legendary Superfly Jimmy Snuka passed away. I know I'm probably opening up a can of worms right now by doing a tribute to him, because you guys know that his past year his life was totally thrown into controversy in regards to possible murder charge that he might have been involved with 30 years ago. I'm a very pro believer of you're innocent until proven guilty, so I'm not even going to throw my opinion in this. All that pushed aside, get out of here, not even going to talk about that. Let's just remember him for who he was and what he brought to the wrestling industry, because that is what this show is about. It's about wrestling and remembering all the legendary wrestlers and what they brought. First time I ever saw him was in like the mid-'80s. It was right after WrestleMania 1 when he made his comeback. I wasn't really too knowledgeable about him, but prior to that, I did go back and watch, of course, the famous moment where he jumped off the cage onto Don Morocco, which of course inspired Mick Foley to pursue wrestling. I watched, of course, Roddy Piper smash the coconut on his face. His overall style, like in my opinion, he was one of the first wrestlers, non-lucha related, non-Mexican, non-Mexico related, to kind of bring the whole aerial high flying style to our area. Like a lot of people, I mentioned this a little while ago. People are like, oh no, he's like Mel Mascaris and all these other guys. Yeah, I get it. Like that style of wrestling, like in the Central America area, yeah, it's very high flying, and they have been around a lot longer than him. But I think he was one of the first guys to kind of put on the map. Like Antonino Roca, he was another guy who was obviously before the Snook era. But in my opinion, a lot of people now who watch wrestling can always associate leaping off the top rope, the high rope antics, because of Superfly Snuka. So we owe quite a bit to him because of that. So yeah. Another great moment I remember him is, a lot of people don't remember, but he's actually the guy that started the Undertaker's streak. Undertaker's WrestleMania debut at WrestleMania 7 was against Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and that's what launched Undertaker's first win at WrestleMania, and of course, many after that. Now, just, the way he carried himself on the interviews, he was always real respectable of the crowd. After every match, he would always salute the crowd, throw up the horns, I guess, but it wasn't the horns. It's a symbol of respect. Now, I'm going to show you guys something right now really quick in regards to it. Now, as you notice right behind me in the tour room, you'll see an empty spot right there. It's because right here, there he is. There's the man, Superfly, right there. Like I said, I was always a huge fan of his. I say I got lots of wrestling careers. A lot of them are wrestlers that I really enjoyed growing up. I don't have every classic superstar because there's a lot out there that I really couldn't care. I wasn't a fan of theirs, but as you can see, Superfly is proudly displayed on my wall because I was a fan of his. Said he opened the door to so many things about wrestling that I really enjoyed. The way he looked and everything was just truly breathtaking. It is a sad day that, of course, the last year of his life was completely shrouded in all this controversy. But let bygones be bygones. He is a legend in regards to the whole wrestling industry. And that's all I'm going to leave. Personal life aside, if he did do it, shame on him. But let's remember him for who he was in the ring. And that's what this should all be about. So rest in peace, Superfly, and thank you. So there you guys have it. Not really tons going on this week as always. But hey, as always, if you like the video, please crush that like button, subscribe for more great videos, and follow us on Twitter using the 2 name tags below. And as always, leave comments in the comment section. I will read them and I will get back to you. So please help me grow this station by giving me all the feedback that you guys want. Once again, this is JP from KayFabe Chronicles, and I will see you guys next time.